like rolled in because like I figured I was late. Um,
Okay, so the next step is to fill out some paperwork. We have to set the aggregation plan and some other documentation to the Public Utilities Commission, Community Power, and CC a couple of other people. I hope to get that done this upcoming week, so it'll be out, okay? Public Utilities Commission has 60 days to approve it. Once that's approved, then the next step will be to get all the contracts and all that stuff over to the town manager, so him and the lawyers can review the contracts and make a recommendation to the council whether the contracts are fine and whether to go ahead with it. My guess is we're kind of like looking September, October timeframe for that to happen. If that does happen, then we would join Community Power if the town council approves it in this late winter, early spring of next year, and we're scheduled. Okay, what Community Power is doing is they're rolling people out in what they call waves. Okay, we would be in wave 3. They, like I said, they went live the end of April. As of May 22nd, they had roughly 76,000 people enrolled. Here's some figures. They've had Enfield, Exeter, Hanover, a couple of towns. Wave 1.5, which was a couple of weeks later. I'm not sure. I don't really understand the reason why they had 1.5, whatever. But Portsmouth and Canterbury, they came in towards the end of Wave 1. So anyway, they had a Wave 1.5. Okay. So total enrollment at this point, as of the end of May or May 22nd, like I say, they had roughly 76,000 people. They have very few people, less than 1%, are opting out. Okay, when your community accepts Community Power, a mailer is sent out to all the people that live in the town saying we're going to switch you over to this. If you don't want to fill out this, go to the website, fill out this, and opt out. Okay. It's still kind of early for the opt-out stuff. I don't know how you are, but I get things in the mail and I just kind of like blow them away until I find out, oh, I shouldn't have blown that away. So there may be more people opting out, but at present, very few people opting out. There has been no significant issues. There was a little bit of a glitch with the first rollout, and that Eversource suddenly said that we can only give you 5,000 people a night or something like that. There was a limit to how many. I believe they've worked that out. They're still working on that net metering issue thing, and again, I think they're still thinking sometime next year that they'll have that all squared away.
Would you explain, Joe, what opt-down and opt-up means?
Okay, so there are 4 or 5 different plans that you can get. Okay, there's a electric basic, which is 33% renewable energy. Then there's basic plus, which is like 45%. I have the figures in front of me somewhere. I have this with you, and it goes up to 100% renewable energy.
Oh, because they're opting up or down.
Yeah, they can. Your town has the option to select which one they want as the default, whether they want basic or basic plus. So some counties or towns have picked basic plus to be their default, and those people have opted down to the lower one. It's only like a penny cheaper, or not even a penny cheaper.
Can I just point out that across the board, opt-up is higher than opt-down. More people are going for the more renewable energy portfolio than the standard, than the default for that town, which is fantastic. Not by a little bit either, by a lot.
6 times.
Yeah.
On the bottom line there,
Right.
opt-down to opt-up.
Right.
Price difference, I can get it and I'll send it to everybody what the current prices are, but the price difference isn't all that significant. So I can see a lot of people saying, hey, for a couple a penny more, or not even a penny, I'll go with the more renewable energy.
This is fantastic. And in line with what we've talked about, and we don't know what the future holds, but in line with what, and I probably should face the camera. And is the camera? I presume there's a camera.
Yeah.
Okay. In line with what we talked about in terms of the idea of the energy plan containing approximately 11% increase in renewable portfolio for the default every year, because right now, with the prices as they are right now, it's a very minimal price difference. So maybe that changes. Maybe we, increase it even more to make our 2030 goal. But this is just really all fantastic news. Is there more? I'm sorry, didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
really, this is pretty much all that I had,
Okay.
other than, I think they're off to a good start, and personally, I'm kind of glad we're not like in wave one, we're not at the, Newmarket's not at the very
Yeah,
front.
it's good to have somebody.
But can I just point out that Hanover, Peterborough, and all three had already adopted the 100% renewable resolution, in some cases several years before we did. And yet we're only going to be a year behind them on CPC&H, which I think is fantastic. Like, we're catching up. I love it.
They're now up to 34 cities and towns, or in one county, that have now signed up for CPNH, okay? And there's a couple more that have started inquiring, one of them being Newfields. Stratham is in, like I say, Portsmouth is in. Dover just passed a resolution to approve the contracts, so Dover is probably going to be in, I think, with wave 2.
Did you
And I'm
say
not sure what the,
Newfields joined?
no,
For this joint?
Newfields is looking to potentially join.
Fantastic.
Is it gonna go the waves like wave 2 in October, fall, and then wave 3 spring,
Yes,
and
yeah.
then stay on that sort of
Yeah.
schedule?
Part of the reason that they do the waves thing here is because they have to go, community power has to go out and buy electricity, okay, and they have to say, okay, we're gonna buy electricity for, we know we're gonna have this many more customers, okay, so we have to buy electricity, and they come in once we start getting that electricity. Okay. And I'll just throw this out for something I just found. If you select like 100% renewable energy, or 50%, whatever, the electricity that you're getting may not necessarily have been generated, from hydro or wind, from electric sources. What they do is X amount of electricity that they buy is from renewable sources, but at the end of the year or at some point in time, they have to do a reconciliation. They say, okay, we've had this many people that have opted for 100% renewable energy, we only bought this much, so they now have to go out and they have to buy more contracts or whatever for renewable energy to meet that load. So it's,
Right.
it's a step in the right direction, but again, also too, I can't guarantee that the electricity coming to our house comes from a renewable source at this point.
Well, and in our back pocket, should, the future hold this for us, we could talk about generation projects here in town.
Okay.
In which case we would be, not just getting the solar energy that we're producing, but like right here in Newmarket.
Yeah. Community Power has hired a formal CEO, okay, a full-time guy. And
Do we know his name?
Brian something, I think I would know him.
It's okay.
I'm actually on the board of directors now.
Nice.
Yeah, so anyway, and one of the things that they want to start working on is, now that they've actually got customers and they actually have money starting to come in, they've got to get all the, the cash flow situation squared away. But one of the things that they do want to work on is, okay, setting aside money to fund projects that can
Right.
get them renewable or cheaper energy.
Right.
So,
Right.
Newmarket might be a good, take a look at the dam here.
Exactly. And I mean, that possibly might not just only be for Newmarket, but we could be supplying power for if Newfields join, or if Stratham joins, right? Or Stratham is joining. So, that's
Well,
fantastic.
I asked about that. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't?
No, unfortunately. You'd have to do another contract where the two towns agree
Right.
to how they would split their reserves and whatever, all that. So it's easier for Newfields to just go do their own thing.
Right. Even if, I'm talking about, like, let's say Newmarket, if we had a combination of solar panels, because we were talking about like putting solar panels on people's homes and using it as part of our community power. And we had a dam and everything else, then if we had a surplus of energy, we couldn't sell that back to CPC&H and then they sell it to, what I meant.
Yes, yeah, but yes, we could do I think we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Go back to see it.
Oh, you're talking about like a joint, like if Newfields and Newmarket wanted to create a shared solar field, for
Yes,
example. Okay,
yes.
yeah, that would be a whole new agreement.
Mhm.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Is there anything else on CPC&H?
Nope, I think we're getting there.
Anyone? Okay.
Like this?
I'm so excited. I love the fact that we're doing this. All right, so the energy chapter of the Newmarket Master Plan. I'm going to ask a scary question. Did anyone look at? You did? I'm so happy.
I made some comments.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like 30 minutes ago, but I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm grateful.
It was fresh in
And
my mind. It's good.
should we bring it up? I will say one of the buckets or whatever that we were looking at was transportation. We talked about that. And I called Carol Gulla. Carol Gulla lives in Newmarket. She runs a volunteer-based nonprofit that helps people who need transportation. And it's kind of an on-call service for people who are transportation challenged. I think it might just be elderly people, I'm not sure. And she was one of the people I was saying we could pick her brain. She didn't get back in touch with me until literally this afternoon, after I called her again. And she wasn't able to make it tonight, but she thinks that she'll be able to make our next meeting. Some of the things I wanted to go over from our conversation today. So her thought was kind of similar to mine in that perhaps we would be thinking about essentially a fixed route shuttle service that would at a minimum connect Newmarket with Durham in one direction and Market Basket and Stratham in the other direction. If we expand that to as far as Dover, now we are increasing our reach, because that would put us in touch with coast routes and also, well, the train station out is also in Durham, but train station, coast routes, and also CDJ. So there's potential there. But in addition to the fixed route, we were talking about potentially just peak hours for doing that, but doing essentially an on-call service, not dissimilar to what Coast provides, but specifically for transportation challenge people. So this would include elderly people who can't drive. It would include low-income people who can't afford a car, or just anyone who doesn't have a license, disabled people. So just anyone who's transportation challenged. And so this is basically what we're talking about. And the cost wouldn't be so much. She did say that because she does have some of the administrative experience in handling this, things like getting insurance for drivers and stuff, that she would be willing to help us out with that aspect. But essentially it would be, it would be the town purchasing vehicles or securing vehicles somehow, and also hiring non-CDL drivers, or 15 passenger or smaller vehicles. So all of that said, really the first step is to find out what the actual need in Newmarket specifically is, and then bringing in experts to help us find out that need, right? So Mark Hyson at Wildcat is someone we could bring in, as well as, why am I blanking on my former boss's name? Michael, can't remember his last name, from Coast, who ran an extensive Seacoast-wide series of like listening sessions and surveys to find out what the need was. Coast will already have a lot of that data for us, but secondly, they could help us go about figuring out exactly what Newmarket are. So that would be basically the first step. And what else did she say? I think that might be about it, but she's willing to talk to us next meeting about that, and we'll be in email contact with her in the meantime. Any thoughts?
Could I Just a quick suggestion about extending the route to Exeter Hospital.
Yeah, that's a good, well, she brought up the fact that there is a transportation gap specifically with people who get ambulances to the hospital and then are basically stranded when they get out of the hospital. And there's some volunteer-based services that help those people, but it would be really great. Oh, the other thing is, Newmarket has quite a few people who are transportation challenged, but Newmarket also has well-off people who aren't necessarily transportation challenged, but would be interested in investing in public transportation just in principle. And what if we had like a subscription service or something like that where they could pay by the month for their commuting needs? And could we use that as a way of defraying some of the costs? So, all good stuff, but I think really we need to just pull in more experts and kind of get hard data for what exactly we need. But in general, that's both.
I was suggesting the hospital because also I routinely drive one of my friends for treatments and sort of split up the duties amongst other friends. So that's they're sometimes recurring things that people need to get treatment for or whatever that would help, not just in an emergency ambulance ride.
I think that's a very excellent point. We were talking about bare minimum from Durham to Market Basket, but just like Dover would increase us so much in that direction, Exeter would be very, very useful.
And Dover would go past Wentworth Douglas as well, probably.
Yeah, or at least very close, depending on what we decide to do.
So, I absolutely agree, and one of the things that I think is critical before the town's gonna do anything is to, quantify what the need is. I think absolutely that's
And
kinda like
assess
the first step.
the costs, what would we be looking at? I mean, obviously, the town council needs to know.
Yeah, but certainly, what's the need, yes, and the cost.
Right, the cost to cover that need. Okay. Julie, would you like to walk us through your comments on?
Well, we're starting at 4, right? I think
You say
I
More?
started at section 4. I thought
Oh,
that's
you wanna
where we
go
were.
up to
Yeah.
section 4?
6.
Keep going, keep going, keep
Yep.
going, keep going, keep going.
5
Up to 5? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it.
to
To
4.
4.
I think because we left off at section 3, right? That's what the email said was to. Can you go past it? Now we're at 1.
Alright.
1, 3, keep going down now. I didn't have much. It was just little wording things that I.
Well, should we,
Looked at.
how do people feel about just like
There it
starting
is.
from
Here.
the beginning and then just having like all the comments? I don't know,
We're at
We've
4 now.
approved through 3, I believe. I
Okay.
mean, I don't think I
Just
wasn't at
go
the
up a
last
little bit,
meeting.
Joe.
Back up? Did I miss
Yeah,
something?
just a little bit. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here's 4, although I don't know if I. Does it even say if I think I was okay on this one.
Keep
There
going
are
down?
some older comments. If we want to approve all of that, that's been edited.
I mean, good point, let's
Yeah.
see what
Okay.
Sarah's
You want,
comments are usually.
you wanna go start where we had left off on,
We
okay,
left off at 4, right?
Right.
So we've approved through 3, from what I understood.
Yeah,
So
mhm.
we were here.
Okay, let's see that Sarah's comment there. I
Yep.
think transportation is an important part of any community's plan, unfortunately, or should we just read the whole thing first, or can you show me? Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, is there anything you'd like to say about, we talk about transportation?
Well, I mean, I don't know that we can convince UNH
No.
and, ever convince Coast to increase their service. They've both done the analysis and determined it wasn't worth it to them.
So what is the topic of this one? So energy.
Energy efficiency and conservation.
Okay. Okay, so energy efficiency and conservation focuses on one main objective, reducing consumption across the sectors, thus reducing energy costs and environmental pollutants. Newmarket can achieve reductions in energy consumption by addressing the following: efficiency audits of both existing and new buildings, transportation systems, choices and alternatives, street and outdoor lighting. We've actually already done this.
Yeah.
The town has already done that. Should we check
Yeah,
that out?
check it.
Strike it?
Both
Yep.
solar street and outdoor. So have we done solar already?
No, we have not done solar, but we have done
Okay.
switch to
Oh, I'm sorry, I
LED.
was reading Sarah's comment on that.
Municipal operations such as wastewater pumping, they have been actually doing that. We actually talked about that in here. Provide access to clean, I'm sorry.
Well, no, just because if the concept is going into the master plan, I think it's worth mentioning maybe more in the present tense rather than just striking it out completely. Does that make sense? Like, we want to keep it, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to strike it out, we want to maybe change the tense.
And making an addendum that
Mm.
we
Done
achieve
this.
this, but we do want to maintain this,
Yeah, maintain LED,
mission.
street and
Maintain.
outdoor lighting,
Mhm.
possibly upgrade to solar. Yeah.
So-
And
So how is it worded? It's worded in a kind of like a present tense, right? Like it's not, can achieve reduction, so that's more like future. So perhaps it starts the second paragraph, we have done this and want to maintain.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even taking that, yeah, I'm trying to think of how you could reword it to be like continuing to upgrade things, like, you know, if something more
Right,
efficient
just
comes
right,
along.
yeah, continuing to, yeah. Yeah. Like it.
Municipal operations such as water or sewer pumping.
And then we could, if you said we already made strides there, right? So we could say continuing there as well.
Mhm.
Continuing to, yeah, doing upgrades to, to improve. To improve, yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Anybody can speak up and,
No,
yeah,
sounds
something
good.
better. Provide access to clean, renewable fuel choices.
Got a double M there now.
Oh, yeah.
It's
He
struck,
struck it, yeah.
yeah.
What does that look like?
What,
The fuel choice, I'm sorry, I'm on the next point.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Because when we say fuel choices, first of all, we have transportation fuels, we have heating fuels. Are we talking, which one are we talking about? And I don't know that there's,
should we change fuel to electric and
so,
Biofuels for heating.
yeah. And how do we provide access to those
Yeah.
fuels for residents
Mhm.
specifically? So, I'm just gonna brainstorm, and anybody can just please pipe in. We could have a program, and this kind of goes, it circles back to the first point, efficiency audits of both existing and new buildings. I would be interested to see Newmarket run a program where we offer to anyone who's interested an energy audit, including their heating fuel audit, right? And say, here are the things that you can do. Like, we could just, I mean, it would be an investment from the town, but we could say to residents, you can schedule a free audit.
but that doesn't Eversource and don't they already do that?
Do they? Does Eversource give free audits, energy audits? That would be fantastic.
And
if they did.
Southern New Hampshire Services has a program as well.
Okay.
Cause I asked my landlord if he'd be interested.
Do they specifically address heating fuels? And I say heating and transportation fuels specifically because that is in our 100% renewable energy goals, but not for 2030, 2050, which I think we can get there before 2050.
From what I've seen, they don't address fuel types, it's more of like, windows, doors, insulation.
Right, energy efficiency. So I think, all right, if Eversource and Southern New Hampshire, whatever, does the energy audits, then maybe we could have a Newmarket funded audit program for anybody interested. Here's a way to make your heating fuel more sustainable.
Are there any, like, benefits, like, considering, like, could the town consider different benefits for people who opt into these things? I don't know if there's a tax break or anything, like, something to encourage buy-in from the community.
There's that I'm aware of. One is that if you put solar on your house,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they don't increase the assessment of your house because of that, or, okay, so
That's
normally.
not
Taxes
really,
don't
that's
go
not
up,
really
yeah.
an incentive, that's a lack of penalty,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then there's another one that just passed, that if you're building a new house, if you have solar or whatever, they give you, allow you to add 100 square feet or something. There's some number of square feet that they allow you to add if you
So that's a
include
benefit.
renewable energy.
That is,
So,
well, what we discussed a long time ago, and I think this was around the time you all, the new members, the previous wave of new members joined. And so the idea that like we don't penalize you by increasing your assessment if you put on solar panels, we talked about potentially, and this is, can kind of blow the skirts up on the town council, admittedly, but the idea is, let's say you spent $20,000 on a solar system, that you would be able to claim a certain amount of that every year for a certain number of years as a deduction on your taxes.
Now, I think with the Inflation Reduction Act, you get to do something like that.
For your federal taxes, you mean?
Right, for your federal
Yeah.
taxes.
But specifically talking about what can Newmarket do, and that is something Newmarket can do, is say, okay, we're going to give you, and it doesn't have to be like a huge amount, right? Like not all of your taxes in 1 year, but let's say you get to claim 1,000 of that amount every year for 5 years or 10
a
years.
percentage of,
A percent, right,
Yeah.
or whatever.
yeah.
So like you're saving on taxes.
Mm-hmm. So that could, would we wanna put something in this section that,
We could do something similar with fuels.
yeah, consider incentives for,
Yeah, if we could, the biofuel, see who providers are, put a bid out every year or something.
Under the
Yeah.
provide
To cap a
access
good
to
rate.
clean,
yeah, for
And-
Newmarket residents,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Provide
whatever,
fuel audits to residents and incentives for changing to renewable fuel
Yeah.
sources, if you wanna throw that in there
As a
note.
separate line, or
As
as
a note
addition
on-
to?
I think to change that, right, cause we're
On that
wondering how the
line.
town could provide access, so we're kind of upgrading this to be something else, because we don't know how
Right.
Newmarket could actually provide access to these things, rather,
I would say provide audit service. Residents and tax incentive for switching to renewable fuel.
Provide audit service to residents and,
Tax incentive,
I'm sorry, I'm a one-finger typer.
that's totally fine, for switching to renewable fuel. I just appreciate your service. Feel like saluting you. I don't know where you agree with that.
Provide access to clean and renewable fuel choices, should that be a separate bullet?
So I think what we're talking about is switching or incorporating that as part of this bullet.
Okay.
You see, and it's like, how do we provide access to clean and renewable fuel choices? We tell them what those choices could be for them, and then we give them a tax incentive. Does that make, yeah.
Should we change fuel to energy?
Well, I think
Alright.
the other points are
Alright.
addressing other types of energy, and this point is just addressing specifically fuel. I mean, anybody can, you don't have to be the
Yep,
only.
yep.
All right. Are we ready for the next point? Community awareness and participation.
Well, do we wanna take out the provide access to choices,
Okay,
right? 'Cause that's what started this.
right. Could we say, provide access to clean renewable fuel choices by
Yeah,
providing?
yeah.
I like that.
Alright. Community awareness and participation.
All right, next one. Community awareness and participation, incentive programs for efficiency installation, education. I mean, I almost want to switch those two sub-bullet points, like the education first and then incentive programs. So I mean, we are talking about the same thing that we're talking about for the fuel, but just for the
Yeah.
energy. Did we not cover that higher up though? It feels like efficiency audits of both existing and new buildings. Yeah, I feel like I just want to take that whole point and put it under the audits. And then switch education. Does anyone else feel like this, please?
Yeah, no, I feel that, like, I like the community awareness and participation
Mhm.
part, like, I think that we could just maybe reword it or put it underneath something, because I think education around all of this is beneficial for all. We want people
Right.
to know what they could be investing in and getting into, so some kind of, community awareness, outreach, education
I would just
around energy efficiency.
make the very first point, community
Yeah.
awareness and education.
Yeah,
Full stop.
done.
Full stop.
Okay, so what are we talking about? What is it?
I want to make, and I don't know why my brain is working like this, but I feel like it needs to be the first point is community awareness. We can put outreach or whatever, but like community awareness and education needs to be its own point at the top.
All the way at the top of this, so above efficiency audits in both existing, right, so way up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, thank you.
So that's where it's all gonna start.
All right. So I would say community awareness and education. Does that sound like a good
Yeah.
phrasing? And make that its own point,
Community.
awareness and education. So this is gonna be your, the town website and YouTube videos and
Yeah.
Facebook and, whatever booklets we have up in the clerk's office,
Mm-hmm.
like all of those things. And then,
Seminars.
yes, all of it. Or, like Earth Day events where
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah, do we wanna do community awareness, education, and outreach events?
Sure. Well, not just events, materials and events.
Outreach, materials, and events.
Right.
Outreach materials.
We can collect all the different state and regional and county programs, have like a packet for everybody. So just make
Is that a
it easy for 'em.
community awareness
That sounds good,
education?
yeah.
And then so then I would,
Delete that, yeah.
I would delete everything after your cursor and, well, just cut it because we're about to move it. And then I would say, I just,
No, here, I gladly let you drive.
I'm like, I have it.
I'm not
It's
a,
harder to say it
Yeah.
than to do it. No, I'm just,
Do you wanna undo what I just did
No,
there?
oh,
or-
no. Oh, you have a
Oh,
mouse.
yeah.
That makes it even easier. All right. Cut. Oh, when you cut, it strikes
Yeah.
because it's a thing. Okay,
Yeah,
I forgot.
We're in edit mode.
Yes, we're in edit mode. I wasn't thinking. And then, so the efficiency audits of both, so I would say provide efficiency audits.
Yep.
And then the next point would be, this is a new bullet point. Maybe I'm not any faster than you, actually. Where's the bullet? It's not,
Right.
add it, there you go.
Yep.
Oh, no, it's a sub-bullet. No, I don't
Okay.
want a sub-bullet.
I know,
Press tab and then back.
Yeah.
I don't know Google,
It's okay. It's okay.
can be
So
done.
I'm just
I
gonna,
do it and I can put the bullet in when I
Yeah.
figure out how to do that.
nope, not shift tab, it's,
If you press back again and then enter, maybe it'll, yeah? No?
well, anyway, I want to actually put the incentive programs. And I would say tax or offer. Offer tax incentive. Not used to your keyboard. And I don't care about the spelling anymore. For, what was it? Efficiency and insulation. I don't know what else would fall. And then and I would actually put transportation systems after, probably at the end. But that's just the way my brain's working. I don't, whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Then we say, we'll do audits for you for the energy. Then we're going to say, then we'll also do incentives for the energy
Mhm.
efficiency. And then the fuels, and then the street and municipal and transportation.
Yeah, I think the order matters.
The order
kind of
does matter?
flow. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I was
No.
like, maybe it's just
Yeah,
me.
No,
It's a
because you
logical
want this to be a
escalation.
well
Right.
thought out, organized document where it flows nicely like that. I agree. I think that's,
Okay,
as I was going through this tonight, that was kind of, I was like, I like all of this, but yeah, I feel like this could be reworked and have better order to it to make sense as someone who's going to be reading it, who hasn't been working on it like we have.
the fuel is combined into one point, but we didn't combine so I want to combine this into one point now.
Yeah.
And is so useful that way. All right. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted.
Undo.
Once you put it in, apparently it's stuck forever. Oh, you did. Okay, so I wanted to put that, I did put that down there, and then, so, efficiency, oh, here's what I wanted to move. Fuel, so energy, fuel, street and municipal. I don't know, I'm making a mess of it, I know. And then transportation, and now I can delete this now. Okay. Is that,
Just, well,
did I
okay.
mess that up?
No.
Okay. All right.
So this is what it,
Oh, nice.
where were we, recommendations? What happened to 4, the numbers? Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, the
Come-
numbers didn't save into it. That is weird. I know someone, was it Josh? Someone had gone in and added the numbers.
Efficiency audits of open oh wait, it didn't save it.
Let me go back to where we were.
It didn't save it at all.
I think you might have to accept the changes before they come
Good
in.
point.
So if you change the view, is it the eyeball there? Yeah.
Feels so inept right now.
Suggesting.
I'm gonna blame it on, it's not my,
Go to suggesting, yeah.
How's it, shit.
Uh,
Can I get back to,
you're on it.
Go down?
Yeah, at some point we'll have to just accept all of the edits, which,
right, so we can continue.
yeah.
It's not like a save or something we can do right now?
If you
So-
go
We
over.
can accept the ones we're working on, I guess.
Yeah, we might wanna just wait till we're at the end and then I think you can accept all or
Mhm.
something. I haven't done Google Docs in a while. it's not letting you choose edit document directly, which is interesting. I don't know.
Because this was originally from Josh, I think.
Okay, so he's the only one who can edit directly.
I think so. Alright, so let's just keep going.
Yep.
The new building codes, where should that fall? Is it time to fall in the end or,
This thing here?
yeah, and developing things for new construction in
Is
relation
this another bullet point under everything we're working on
Yeah,
then?
but does it fall up under higher up or where it is?
I think it's fine where it
Okay.
is.
Developing things for
Uh,
new construction,
yeah.
and renovations to include, okay.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
that's fine there.
So it's like the new stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, and
So are we sort of okay with
I think
four?
I think we're good, yeah.
okay with 4, yeah.
We struck those.
Okay.
5. All I did was change a little sentence in here. Without proper attention, unmanaged growth puts communities at risk of exhausting their environment and what makes them unique. So I just changed the wording. It felt,
I like it.
I don't think I saw anything else in here. I read through this.
What the heck is an unmanaged community? That was weird wording to begin with.
I know that.
Thank you for fixing that.
Yeah. Otherwise, 5 seemed,
What is the total, should we
Oh.
read it out loud? I hate to be
Yeah.
like that. Okay, sustainability is the ability to provide for present needs without damaging the ability of future generations to provide for themselves. The primary philosophy of sustainable growth and development is that new development and redevelopment can be done in such a way that they provide environmental, economic, and quality of life benefits to all members of the community. Without proper attention, growth puts communities at risk of exhausting their environment and what makes them unique and desirable places to live, work, and visit. The built environment has a profound impact on our natural environment, economy, health, and productivity. Sustainable development is a pattern of resource use that aims to meet the needs of the community today and protect the needs of its future while preserving the environment. Sustainable development ties together concern for the carrying capacity of natural systems with the social challenges facing individuals and communities. Communities can achieve sustainable development by integrating land use and resource-based strategies with economic development approaches that benefit the local environment and quality of life. The infrastructure for energy use and delivery can influence land use decisions about where growth occurs and where we live, work, and recreate. New Hampshire state law encourages energy-efficient patterns of development through zoning that does not unreasonably limit development of alternative and renewable sources of energy. Reduction in energy consumption can also be achieved through implementation of conservation measures, smart growth, and development of alternative transportation systems. Sustainable practices are aimed at guiding how new development is constructed to attain energy efficiency and conservation, and to promote use of sustainable materials and energy. Bullets. Performance-based standards and building codes will ensure that all new buildings are constructed to a minimum efficiency level, for example, using LEED standards or EPA Energy Star standards. Construction standards can ensure use of products that provide long-term durability, and use of sustainable and recycled materials, salvage, refurbish, or reused materials. Site selection can focus preferentially on previously developed land to conserve historical properties, open space, and prime agricultural land. Site design techniques that take advantage of sun exposure, differences in microclimate, landscaping, and landscaping reduces development's energy demand and overall energy consumption. Energy efficient planning principles and provisions to allow for renewable energy generation can be implemented through subdivision site plan review regulations, zoning ordinances, and building codes. Are we at the end?
what's the top of 5? This is 5.1. What is the header for 5?
Oh, thank you. It's
Long-term planning for energy security.
So
So this is defining sustainability?
Right, and I feel like if anything, if we're going to include the I mean, that's a whole lot of words.
Yeah,
If we're going to include the definition of sustainability, it feels like that should come at the very top of
that's
the
what I was
section.
thinking.
And it feels like this is a lot of words to just define sustainability
Yeah.
and cite it as a value. And most of those bullet points, I think, can be put up under,
And they're kind of covered in what we've already
Exactly.
done.
I mean, we didn't mention leads specifically and some of those specific ideas, but I feel
Mhm.
like we can cite those specific ideas in the previous bullets
Yeah.
because they basically are covering the same thing. This feels repetitive to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think so.
I
What was frustrating me about this entire thing is that all of it seems so needlessly long and repetitive.
Yeah, I think some of that could be weeded into what we already have, and then we could take out the bulk of it. If we want to define sustainability, I agree, you could shorten it and put it at the top where it feels more like it might set the page for the entire document rather than kind of feel like it's thrown in at the end.
Yes,
This
if
is
we're gonna
based
have
on,
what
like,
you know in the beginning,
Exeter or
right?
something? What?
Hmm?
If we're gonna use that,
Yeah,
that should be the first thing.
yeah.
You would think. So just as a refresher, can you show us the headers for, sections 1 through, well, we just did 4, but,
And then I'm wondering what the rest of 5 says too. I
Right.
guess I can pull it up.
so,
Section 1 is the introduction, our vision.
feels like sustainability could be defined in the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And can someone tell me what the difference between vision and objectives are? Like, are they?
Vision is kind of broader,
Broad,
objectives is
specific.
specific, yeah.
So objectives would be 100% renewable energy by 2030, electricity by 2030.
And a vision would be increasing renewable.
Right, and, just sustainability in general.
It's a nicely written paragraph about sustainability,
Right,
but I'm not sure that it's really the right thing for a town plan. It seems a little bit
Mhm.
like
The whole thing-
pontification.
yeah.
Well,
Something you
but
could look up.
this is the master plan. The master plan says, this is kind of like a guiding framework of what we want to do.
Yep.
It is that, for sure. And I don't know if they appreciate that or they just wanna know that.
And that's the only thing in this section. So 5 is long-term planning for energy security and sustainability. And then there's just 5.1, which is defining sustainability. So I don't know the purpose, I'm not understanding the purpose of this section, I guess.
Do we
I think this is also
take it out?
long-term planning for energy security and sustainability could be something that goes into the vision
Yes.
at the top.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that this section could be struck out and we could consider this, how we might be able to put this into the vision at the top and the objectives. So the lead stuff could go into the objectives, the vision could be the long-term planning on how we would be energy secure and more
so-
sustainable.
Where's 4? Energy.
So I think it'd be okay to maybe highlight all of 5 and
If
put
we
Yep.
change this to energy efficiency, conservation, and sustainability,
Yes.
and then bring that up into here with section 4? Or do you still want to go up further?
Yeah, some of it.
I think
would be the right track, though.
some of it, maybe the bullet points could find a section, or find room in 4. But I think this stuff is kind of covered in 4, when we're talking about these upgrades and the tax incentives and things. Although I guess the zoning ordinances and building codes we haven't touched upon. We haven't talked about LEED standards and EPA Energy Star standards. I do think some of this has place in here, but yeah, I'm thinking that it could definitely get sorted into different sections. I don't know if we'll have time to kind of sort that in.
Yeah, I
Tonight,
like what Joe
but-
said, just adding sustainability to that
Yeah,
title.
yeah,
And, and that, if you wanna, maybe you can put an asterisk or something by sustainability and make it a footnote.
yeah,
definition
footnote
of it.
of just the yeah. Or we bring in the definition somewhere in the top, and then we also add sustainability into 4 and use these bullet points in 5, but move them up to 4.
So
What did you put
if
sustainability
we
in for,
put,
right?
if we add sustainability here, so this has to say, it should say, energy efficiency and conservation focuses on one major objective, blah, 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 blah. Sustainability focuses on blah, 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 blah.
Then that's where you could take that,
And then-
that top definition of,
What's sustainability?
Yeah, the ability to provide for present needs without damaging the ability of future generations to provide for themselves. And I think that's all you need for the definition of sustainability, because really, it just kind of goes more into detail, kind of repeating itself in that big definition.
The way I almost want to kind of make a new outline, like our own outline, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we can base it off of this, but then like make our own outline and then fill in the outline with a lot of the wording here, but I'm
Does that
fine
go
with
along with your outline that's at the bottom that you created a while?
Well, that was specifically just like, not the broader, like, more pontificating stuff,
cool.
but like
Yeah,
just the
plan.
actual goals. But I'm an outline person, so
Yeah.
that's how I think. But I'm fine with, you know, doing it however most people feel is
So just put a comma after efficiency and get rid of that and before.
Okay, so,
That makes sense to me.
So I will say we're coming up on the 8 o'clock time.
Yeah, I think you have that good.
Maybe we can kind of get through 5, make sure 5 is done, and
What-
then we'll.
so I'm sorry, but back to,
Lisa?
so, did we agree to do this or
Mhm.
not?
I think so,
Okay, so
yeah.
we've moved sustainability up to here, and so we have the definition of energy, efficiency and conservation, and we have the definition of sustainability. Okay, so now you wanna bring some of the bullet points from,
I think those
Here?
bullet points could be 4.2, right? Do we have a 4.1?
Well, for example, so the first bullet point is performance-based standards for building, and building codes that will ensure, we already talked about updating our
Okay.
building codes for efficiency
Yep.
in 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
We just didn't mention, for example, using LEED standards or EPA Energy Star standards.
yeah.
So like, literally just take that clause and put it in the bullet point.
which one, I'm sorry?
So, if we take, for example, using LEED, oh,
Oops.
sorry,
Yeah,
it's a
this is
touchscreen. For example, using lead and Energy Star, or even the whole sentence really, and just put it up in 4.
I'm gonna take what I've highlighted here,
Yeah,
okay.
copy, and then there's a very similar bullet point in 4, which is adopt new building codes for efficient lighting, thermostats, etc. So just combine those 2 sentences.
Adopt new building codes for efficient lighting in,
I paste what you just copied before that, because, performance-based standards in building codes, adopt new performance-based standards in building codes.
put the performance before this
I
adopt,
would, put it right after, adopt, right after.
right after adopt
Right
or
after
before?
adopt, because that's what we're doing, we're adopting,
Oh, adopt performance-based?
yeah, instead of the word require. Well, we can keep the word new performance-based standards in building codes that will ensure
Adopt, before,
the word new, after the word new, I changed, I'm sorry,
after new?
yeah. Oh, where did the rest of it go? Oh, okay, yeah. Performance-based standards in building codes that will ensure that all new buildings are constructed in the efficiency level.
That will ensure that, it doesn't, that will ensure all new, right?
Yeah,
Get rid of that,
that, just that will ensure, and then efficiency level, for example, efficient lighting, so take out, you see the blue down in the next page, the words efficient lighting, new thermostats.
Take it out?
Yeah, copy and then put it up right before the lead. Right? Yep, I think that's the sentence. Adopt new performance-based standards and building codes that will ensure all new buildings are constructed to a minimum efficiency level, for example, using efficient lighting and new thermostats. LEED standards are EPA Energy Star standards. Does that sound good? All right.
Looks like there's a double space between using and efficient.
Adopt new performance-based standards and building codes that will ensure all new buildings are constructed to a minimum efficiency level comma. For example, using efficient lighting and new thermostats, LED standards, or EAP Energy Star standards. Okay. Building codes, okay. What about this building codes and all this stuff? This goes away, right?
Yeah, 'cause it's the same.
Yeah, that's just,
Develop incentives for new construction and renovations to include the generation of electricity and heating, cooling, from non-carbon based sources such as solar. Does that still say?
yes. Should incentives be in? Nah, it's fine.
So,
Here it is, and it's about incentive, can we add new development to that? That doesn't matter, it's fine.
so
Well,
are
one
we
of the points down there that is under sustainability is on new development, so I think all of this could go in there, like the site selection, construction standards.
Yeah,
all this can be moved up?
I think, yeah,
All these bullets as,
all under, except for the last point.
yeah,
Not the last point, but the construction standards, the site selection, and site design,
yeah,
those 3 points can be combined under that new construction point. I like that better, because that last point about new construction, like development, it just felt
Yeah.
weak to me,
yep,
and this is gonna be for that.
this is some strong
so,
stuff.
we're moving all that up
Yep,
right after this, or before this develop?
another one.
I will fix
Yeah.
all this bullets and stuff up.
Yeah, that's where we want it,
Okay,
yep. And then
all these
I
bullets,
think the rest of this sustainability stuff, either it can get sorted into other sections above or completely struck, but I think, we're looking at just getting rid of section 5 entirely, and we can put those things in elsewhere.
so, I cut this bullet here, is this anything we wanna say with this bullet? Energy efficient planning principles?
Develop renewable energy generation, subdivision.
So the 4 says energy efficiency, right? We've got energy efficiency, conservation, and sustainability. So that bullet point definitely falls under 4, but it's under 5.
So this is specific, I mean, it starts by saying the word energy efficient, but energy efficient planning principles having to do with subdivision and site plan review regulations. So that's still under the site, the new
Yeah.
construction stuff, isn't it? I was wrong earlier.
Energy.
So, do we kinda cover this earlier, or no?
I think so.
I think so, yeah, because we talk about zoning ordinances and building codes. I think all that can be inferred to what we've already talked about. I think we can strike it, yeah.
Okay. Without proper attention, unmanaged growth puts communities at the risk of exhausting the environment and what makes them unique and desirable place to live and work.
It's definitely an English major that wrote this.
Not I.
Four paragraphs to say sustainability good.
I wanted, yeah, this was ripped off from
Yes.
Lebanon
Exeter,
or
right?
something.
I think it's Exeter. I think it's Exeter.
Lebanon or
Lebanon?
or Rye, one of them.
Or
Yeah, I think you said rye when you first
Oh.
mentioned where you took it from.
Rye makes sense.
I do haven't mentioned it up above where we got it, but.
So is that
Yeah.
the end of 5?
It
Have
is.
we gotten to the end of 5 then?
Yes, everything we've
Yes, that
gotten
will
rid
get
of.
rid of
Perfect.
5, but is there anything in here that we wanna save?
I
or
mean,
move?
so if at the risk of backtracking, I actually kind of thought, I mean, I know we put it in the definition of sustainability, we put in the beginning of 4. I kind of think it would be under what was the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make more sense in the vision paragraph? I think is 1 or 2.
Or do we leave that definition under 4, but maybe bring some of this stuff up to the vision?
Some of the
This built
concept-
environment stuff and the concept stuff, yeah.
So here's what the vision says now, right? The use of energy influences many facets of life in Newmarket today. Energy can affect multiple municipal costs and operations, influence job growth and local economy, and impact natural resources and quality of life that are so important to Newmarket residents. So,
I don't
again,
even like that, though. Energy is important, okay.
Yeah.
The overall vision for Newmarket is a community that supports and preserves the semi-rural character while simultaneously embracing effective emerging
Energy.
technology, environmental progressive strategies, and local business opportunities. Newmarket's energy policy will play a significant role in achieving this vision. I kind of like this. Newmarket residents, landowners, business owners can benefit greatly by the town becoming more energy secure and a sustainable community.
Everything feels so wordy about this to me.
Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever people wanna do.
Could maybe swap the paragraphs for now, put the overall vision part as paragraph 1, and then the use of energy as paragraph 2, does that matter? Does that flow
Oh, I
better?
see, it does flow better.
No.
What did you say, to switch the two?
I think it flows, I think it flows.
Because 2.0 is called vision.
So you're saying take this and move it after the other paragraph? Is that,
And I think these paragraphs in 5 could almost be summarized into the vision somehow. Can't say I can come up with that tonight, but I think just looking at pieces of this, you could summarize it and relate it back to Newmarket more so, like this is kind of talking in general in New Hampshire state law, blah, blah, blah. I think you could take pieces of it and summarize it into a vision for Newmarket.
Right, I just feel like that it could flow way better and it could be a lot more succinct. And wasn't
Yeah.
it true, Andrew was saying that the master plan should be succinct, it shouldn't be
Yeah.
super in-depth. So
Yeah, this definitely feels like too much in depth. This is like how I'd read this like if I was going to talk to people about it, I'd have something like this. And,
Right.
But
This
if
is
I
a
want to give the
speech.
plan, yeah, this is exactly. It's a speech
want people to
versus
stop
a
reading.
concise
it's
plan.
a TED Talk, this is a
Yeah.
TED. How many points are there? So we're up to 6 now.
But we're condensing it down to 5,
Oh, but like how many total points, I mean?
6. I
Oh,
believe.
6 is the last one?
I believe so. Yeah.
yeah, 6 is.
How is
well,
recommendation different from objectives?
It seems like this goes into very specific things that we want the town to consider.
But it doesn't,
But this section needs a lot of work from what I.
Yeah.
Yes, as I said,
Yeah.
so right here, this
Yeah.
section needs a lot of work.
Yes. That's what I
don't-
remember reading.
I was kind
the
of,
wording of it is not any more specific or, tangible or whatever than the objectives were.
I think we
Very
were
true.
kind of like looking maybe to get rid of 6 and 7 and
Oh, it's-
expanding upon what you had said here.
So, yeah, and that, I can redo all that, and I really should just take the time to kind of, it really should just be like intro, vision, like sustainability good, this is why sustainability is important, and then objectives, here's what we wanna do.
Mhm.
Boom, 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 done. And the objectives, that's where this is all organized, like, there's efficiency, there's transportation, there's
Yep.
energy generation,
And then
so-
it can go into more detail under each one.
Right.
That's where you'd put buses or
Right,
solar or
exactly.
those things. Yeah, I agree. So I think 6 and 7 are probably going to be struck as well, and these will get sorted into whatever headers we might come up with after that.
Okay, good. Okay. I think two things, before we get down to 6 and 7, which I think we're gonna just get rid of 6 and 7 and expand upon
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
overall objectives, but, again, is there anything here we wanna save, or?
I don't wanna
Some of that.
strike it just yet, cause I think it could have a place summarized, but I do wanna get rid of it, you know, like you don't need to delete it now, but I think we will be getting rid of it all, but I think pieces of this, like I said, could be taken. I don't have it, I'm not gonna come up, my brain will not be able to come up with that right now.
Right.
Um,
I think we're close to wrapping up for now, but I think, I'm really glad we had this session. I think I missed the last session we had where we were really working on this, but what I'm hearing more is that what I was already experiencing, that this was very disorganized, that other people see that too, and that's
Yeah.
very validating.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
too much
Bri,
to
for
parse.
getting this out there, and now we can totally change it.
Yes. Yeah, whoever did this in Rye, like I said, I suspect was an English major, because my experience of English majors is that they take a lot of words to say something.
Overextend.
Yeah, they like to write.
Yeah.
All right, are we good? We're up to 6, which really gets us through most of it, and I think we're all kind of on the
Yeah.
same page in terms.
Yeah.
My suggestion is three sections,
Yeah.
and intro, vision.
It's all here already.
Vision is like
It's just a matter
values
of
to me,
sorting it.
right?
Hmm?
Vision is
Yeah.
like values.
Yeah.
So like we can even say intro, values, and objectives.
Yeah.
Objectives / recommendation. We could just say call it recommendations. I think that makes intro,
Well-
values, and recommendations makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anyway,
fine with that.
Okay, we can talk about it more, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 4 would be better.
okay,
and
what's the
the-
fourth one?
The energy objectives, okay, objectives, and then recommendations, or whatever, what did you say there?
Oh,
Well-
yeah, because we want specific objectives that then we have recommendations
Okay.
on how we reach those objectives, is that what you're
Right,
saying,
as opposed to
Jeff?
combining the two into one.
So,
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Joe, did
Homework.
you send this as a link, this document?
Yes, because it's a shared thing.
Yeah,
If-
but you send me another link, because somehow I got.
Okay.
It's
If
in
you-
Joe's
Just send
last
the whole
email to us.
If you don't mind, what I'd like to, if this would be
Yeah.
okay, for me to take this in, I work better with Word, I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Microsoft. Get it into Microsoft, sort of a clean version,
Yeah.
okay?
That'd be great.
And, maybe that's easier to work with than
Yeah.
Google Docs.
If
Yeah.
this ends up being detailed enough in the recommendations, then I think that actually suffices for what we were calling what was it, not the master energy plan, but the energy, what was it, we had 3 plans at one point.
Right.
The energy aggregation plan,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the master energy plan, and then this like.
The resolution.
The resolution energy plan, because the resolution calls upon us to make a comprehensive plan. But if the master plan is and the reason we had that third one separated out from the master plan is because Andrew was like, it has to be super simple to go in the master plan, so it can't be detailed. But if this ends up being detailed enough, then that, serves as our-
I agree, they're almost the same.
I would really like to only do 2 energy
Yeah.
plans instead of 3.
Instead of doing this the third time. So we say to the town council, here you go, here's our energy
Yeah.
plan, how to get there. I mean,
Yeah.
But we might have to expand upon it a little bit to say how to get to 2030, 2050. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. But the 2030 and 2050 would be part of the objectives, right? That
Yeah.
in the objectives
If we
section.
put them in,
Yeah.
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 okay.
All right.
And then comes 1, okay.
If there's nothing else on parts 1 through 5 or whatever, then the last piece is other business. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
Oh, yes. Meeting, okay.
Yeah.
Last.
Patrick had an issue with, the last Wednesday of a month,
Oh,
so, you wanna keep last Wednesday of the month or go to the fourth Wednesday of the month?
Well,
next one we
month
have,
is
it is the fourth.
the fourth one, and same for July.
So we
So
have
can we
a couple meetings to.
Table that to a future time,
Yeah.
what do you
Exactly.
say? Okay,
August would be the next time it would be relevant.
okay, sounds like a plan.
All right,
So when's our next meeting? I missed that.
June
Fourth-
26th?
Okay.
28th,
28th. July 26th, June 28th.
yes. June 28th,
Is June 28th?
yeah,
28th.
is the fourth and final Wednesday of June. And we will be meeting through all of the summer, unlike you town council people. No, you do one a month,
They do.
yeah. Okay.
July and August,
I-
they did on one.
There was an intent to tease a town councilor, but failed.
Shot down.
Shot down. No, we still work, thank you. So, okay, if there's no other business?
Just one other.
Yeah.
We will continue to meet down here, okay?
Yep.
And
Sounds good.
if you know of anybody else that might wanna,
Yeah. Gonna meet some more
Sign up.
Newmarket residents.
Yeah, and Roberta should be here next month, hopefully, I believe. And then, well, who else are we missing? Andrew and,
Patrick couldn't make it, and that's all.
I keep calling him Andrew, it's Patrick, I'm so sorry. I feel awful. I've said that like 6 times today.
I didn't even notice on how you said it. Oops.
If you're out there, Patrick, my apologies. Who else are we missing? So
That's it, just,
That's it, just
well,
the two?
Patrick and,
Patrick and
Roberta.
Roberta, okay,
Right.
all right. Anything else?
I'll make
Okay.
the motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn, second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? I don't think we
Aye.
should. All right, thank you. All right, see you next